on today's whiskey review. Barrel Bourbon Batch 31. Let's go. What's up, everybody? My name is Justin and welcome back to Whiskey Tears, where we buy, try, and review all kinds of different whiskeys, bourbons, scotches, Irish whiskeys, Japanese, Korean, whatever you may think of. We will eventually get to it here on this channel. Today, we are doing Barrel Bourbon Batch 31. If you guys saw it a couple videos ago, we did Barrel Bourbon Batch 32, and it was so far the #1 ranked bottle that I have done on the channel, and it's the only bottle I've done so far that has been new for 22. So, we got some comments on that video. One was from JR, and he said, "Hey Justin, from Whiskey Tears, have you tried Barrel Bourbon Batch 31? I hear it's got some older juice in it." And I said, "Damn it, JR, I guess I gotta buy it now." So here I am, $90 later, one bottle heavier. We're gonna do Barrel Bourbon Batch 31. It is a blend of 6, 7, 10, 15, and 16-year-old bourbons here in this one. So it's got the age statement of 60, oh, I'm sorry, the age statement of 6 years on it. It is coming in at 111.2 proof, and this is bottle number 18,484 of this blend. So, can it stack up to Barrel Bourbon Batch 32, which was the #1 rated? What is this one going to taste like? Let's break it down in this video. Let's go. Okay, so to start with the bottle, you guys know I love the shape of the Barrel Bourbon bottles. The Barrel Bourbon sticker itself is not my favorite compared to their other blends that they have out there, like the Seagrass or all kinds of other stuff out there. It's just kind of muted colors here. And one thing I don't like is it looks exactly the same on every batch blend per bottle except for the information. So you got to really pay attention if you're at a store. Make sure you know what you're looking at if you're buying this for the first time. So other than that, bottle looks great. Let's pop it and see what it tastes like. Kind of a light pop on that one. But let's pour it into our Glencairn and see what we get. Nice healthy pour there. But give it a couple swirls and then we'll get into it. Legs are already sticking beautifully. Oh my gosh, that looks oily all around the glass there. I don't know how well you can see it, but it looks amazing. Pine needles. Pine needles and leaves with some spice in there. What's that spice? Pine needles and leaves with like some clove spice and a little bit of sweet vanilla. A little bit of dandelion in there as well. Some dandelion on a spring day when your little one picks it out of the ground. So some interesting smells there because I'm getting some fall smells with the pine needle, the clove. I'm getting a little bit of spring smells in there with the vanilla. It's not really a spring smell, but that dandelion I guess could be year-round. But man, those legs look delicious. Okay, getting some nutmeg as well. Nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, clove. So it's got spicy in there. It's got the winter smells of the pine needles. Okay, I've got raspberry up front. A nice cool raspberry with some vanilla in there. It's real spicy as it goes towards the back of the throat. Gets into tobacco, gets into some pepper, gets a bit of cinnamon in there. Yep. Raspberry vanilla up front, getting into the spiciness on the back end with the lingering vanilla on the tongue. So, starts with the raspberry vanilla up front, moves back towards the back of the throat, gets into a clovey, tobacco-y, peppery spice on the back end, and that's what kind of lingers in your mouth. A little bit of oakiness in there, a little bit of smokiness in there on the back end, and you can definitely feel it going down your throat. It's hanging on there. Finish is not overly long. Definitely nowhere near as long as batch 32 was. Got a little bit more oakiness that time, a little bit more of that creamy vanilla. Actually, much more creamy vanilla here coming on to that one. But this one is much quicker on the finish, and then it gets into that spicy oakiness with those older bourbons in there, the 15, 16 years. I think that's where those are coming from, but it's not like that young oak taste. It's not that like harsh there's a very fine line between the harsh oak taste and that seasoned oaky softwood taste that is real nice. Yeah, so that's the real nice oak wood on that one on the end with the spice, and the vanilla kind of coats your tongue there. So it's actually getting better and better, I think, with every sip I take. The first one I wasn't as happy with. I think it tastes a lot different than I expected from the nose. I'd almost say that the nose on this is better than the taste. I'm not getting really any of that winter smell coming through on the palate, like that spruce, that Christmas tree smell, that, you know, fig or whatever it may be. But I get that quick jolt of raspberry or strawberry, and then it moves into the creamy vanilla-ness, and then it starts getting into that spicy clove, cinnamon, pepper, tobacco-y, oaky finish. But it's that real nice oaky finish before it does fade out, and it lingers just for a minute in your mouth, and it gives you a little bit of spice and leftover vanilla, but doesn't hang on too long there. But overall, not bad, pretty good. I don't think so far I like it better than batch 32. I would say so far I like batch 32 better, but let's try it with a dash of water. Let's try it on the rocks, see how it goes. Okay, that time I got much more of the fruitiness, much more of the, I can smell the fruitiness much more there, the raspberry, strawberry, vanilla-y, the wintry smell, the spruce and all that kind of takes a backseat a little bit more with the water, and you do still get that dandelion. Okay, it's okay with the water. I still would prefer it much more neat. Pretty much same flavor profile there with the water, so let's try it on the rocks. Okay, so Barrell Bourbon Batch 31 on the rocks now. Didn't pour too much in here, so I'm getting mostly ice on the nose. So I'm not really going to do anything with the nose here on the rocks. Ooh. I would say that may be better on the rocks then. Yeah, it's about the same. It was just I got a nice real sip, first good sip on that one, but overall the same. Getting a bit more of the oakiness finish there on the rocks, but yeah, so not bad. Interesting, because I was coming in when I first smelled it, and I got all those fall, wintry, spruce, clove kind of smells in there with a little bit of the dandelion. I was expecting to taste one thing, and what I got was a bit different, so it kind of threw me off there for a little bit. But let's pour. You know what I want to do is I think I know where I'm going to rank this thing, but I am curious to put it up against batch 32 and see if I still think this one is superior after doing them head to head. Alright, so we're going to do the head-to-head matchup now here of Barrell Batch 31 versus Barrell Batch 32. We'll start with 31 since that's the one we're doing in today's video. Get a refresh on the nose and the palate here. Yeah, neat. Neat is where you really get that nice nose on it. The nose is really good here on Batch 31. With that spruce, those folly smells, the dandelion, the cloves, just a little bit of sweetness in there. Now if we smell Batch 32, that one was pretty glassed there for a second. Pretty much got all glass initially on that smell. Yeah, that one's glassed. I'm going to have to maybe retry that. But alright, so batch 31. The finish on batch 32 is just so long and nice. I think that's where I prefer batch 32 over 31 so far. But pretty good. I think this is maybe the best oak taste that I've had so far out of a bourbon. Really nice oak taste on the finish here. The nose is outstanding. I would put the nose up there with any other bourbons or whiskeys I have smelled. The nose is absolutely great. I think it just doesn't quite get there on the taste, on the palate, to what the nose is bringing you. If this was able to bring you what the nose would do, I think this would be top tier. But I am going to put it up there on the A tier. At the end of the A tier, a little bit behind batch 32. I still prefer batch 32, even though it is a little bit younger on the ages on here, and I got barrel number 26 or bottle number 2609. That's pretty good. Where this was up in the 18,000s. So barrel bourbon batch 31. I can't complain about it. I think I'm giving it a little less credit just because I'm comparing it so much to batch 32, and I like batch 32 so much, even though this particular pour, pretty hard glass, because glass is all I smell right now when I try and smell that one. But yeah, I think I still prefer barrel batch 32, but 31, very good. $90 for this if you can find it somewhere, which you should be able to. It's not too hard to find. You can order it online. But yeah, it's going to go in the B tier. Not bad at all. So JR, I'm not upset that I bought this bottle from your comment, so thank you for the comment. It's definitely a good bottle. It's an interesting one on the levels just because it's got such a good nose. It's got such a good woody oaky taste, but it doesn't linger in your mouth as long as 32. It's not really even close with how long it lingers in the mouth. So I really enjoy that when it has a nice, good, long finish. So that's the reason it is not going to overtake 32, at least in this taste testing. We may do some blind stuff later on once we get more videos done on various bottles. But for now, barrel bourbon batch 32 going down in the B tier. So, I'm sorry. Barrel bourbon batch 31 going down in the B tier. So that's where it's going to be ranked. And thank you, JR, for the suggestion. If you guys want to suggest stuff, put it down in the comments. I'm not always going to buy it like I did for JR, but he was really the first guy to ask for it. Normally in the future, we're going to be doing all that stuff through Patreon. If you want to check that out, patreon.com/whiskeytears. You can also find me on Instagram. Instagram's really where we've blown up so far. We've got almost 400 followers there already, and we just started. So thank you guys for your support there on Instagram. We're on Twitter, and you can message us on any of those if you guys got any questions. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider hitting like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.